The polls are now closed. We have the latest results from Illinois as well as the nation. We take a closer look at some of the local candidates who are vying for this election season. And joining us in the studio to discuss all of today's election news is adjunct instructor Bill Enright of the Political Science Department. All that and much more on this special edition of Courier TV News. Hi, and thanks for joining us. I'm Mike Santoria. Welcome to Courier TV News Election Coverage 2016. The polls are now closed, and precincts are starting to report the numbers on the East Coast, including Illinois. Joining me now in the studio is adjunct instructor Bill Enright, Political Science Department, with some of his analysis. Thanks for joining us, Bill.
You bet. Great. How are you? I love election day.
It took a while to get here. Finally here. So what are your spirits like today?
Looks fantastic. I love watching these results come in. It's going to be great to see what it plays out.
We have some numbers being reported in right now on our electoral college map. We see that Florida is coming in 72% of their numbers being reported, and it does give a slight advantage to Hillary Clinton.
If Hillary Clinton wins Florida, the race is probably over for Trump. I guess we'll wait and see what happens in Michigan and Pennsylvania, where they thought maybe they had a chance to pick up some votes. But Florida is the key for Trump to be able to win this election.
We do have more battleground states that Trump could take. North Carolina. How do you feel about that?
North Carolina is also an important one. If Trump didn't win North Carolina, that would be a hard road also. Certainly Florida and North Carolina combined are going to be a pretty big roadblock for Trump to get to 277. Ohio looks like Trump was going to win Ohio. Looked like all the polls showed that he was going to win Ohio. And so I would say probably still say that Trump was going to get Ohio.
North Carolina specifically is one of the battleground states. Why is that state so important for either side to take it?
Usually North Carolina votes Republican. In the last election, 2012, they voted Republican. Actually, Barack Obama won it in 2008. But generally, it's going to go Republican. 16 electoral votes. And the Republicans really need that to be able to get to the presidency.
Again, those numbers are being reported. The East Coast polls are closed. We do have. I'm not sure exactly how many percentages of the reports are in. But we do have a lead for Clinton. What was the last thing you saw in that?
I saw 72% of the vote in Florida, and it looked like Clinton was up 49 to 77%. Again, other people are playing a role in this too. Gary Johnson and Jill Stein, both taking a couple percentage here and there. That's enough to turn the entire election.
So you were telling me earlier, Gary Johnson was in this election. His votes would be going towards.
I would think they'd be going towards Trump, but I'm not exactly sure. I would guess they'd be going towards Trump, and that would put Trump up another 2 or 3 percentage points, would make it closer in Florida.
Yeah, so that would be, and then Stein wasn't in there.
Stein they would probably go for Clinton.
Florida is where we are seeing our tightest race so far. One of the first to be reported. So that's exciting stuff to start off the day.
Florida is the path to the presidency.
Definitely. I guess moving on from that. We have a tight race in general, not just these battleground states. We know what states are going to go red, what states are going to go blue. These battleground states are tight. So overall, we're seeing a more tighter race. What about Michigan? This is kind of breaking. But Michigan is reported to have low Democratic numbers turning out.
Well, Michigan's important because it's one of those industrial states, and Donald Trump's been talking about losing jobs to Mexico, and he's concerned that the jobs are going to Mexico, and that's where a lot of the auto industry is, and they're saying, hey, we got to bring those jobs back, and so that's one of the points that Donald Trump's been running on, and Michigan's certainly a battleground state over jobs moving out of the country.
We're in the Great Lakes now, so let's move on to our local Illinois races. What are some early pollsters saying about the candidates running for the Senate seats, a seat specifically Tammy Duckworth and the incumbent Mark Kirk?
Well, it did look like Tammy Duckworth had a pretty sizable lead in the polls. 10 to 12% was the last time I saw it. Illinois certainly is a state that votes Democrat normally, and so I wouldn't be surprised if Tammy Duckworth certainly takes the seat and maybe takes it by a large margin.
No, but Kirk, the incumbent's been there for 6 years. What about this is so surprising, if anything?
You know, it's not that surprising. Kirk's had some health problems. Tammy Duckworth's been pretty popular, ran for U.S. Congress in 2014, won the 8th District, well-known in Illinois, wounded in Iraq, lost her 2 legs in Iraq, and so she's pretty well-known in Illinois, so I'm not that surprised at this race.
She takes one of the Senate seats that leaves the 8th congressional seat up for grabs. And do you know who was running for that offhand?
Yeah, that's DeCiani and Krista Mori. So that's Raja, as everybody knows him. That race looked like it was maybe going to be close, but the last time I saw the polls, it looked like Krista Mori was really doing pretty well there.
These candidates are looking to be fair in tonight's election. How do you think both of them will do in their, because they think they're going to do well, but how do you think it's going to play out for both candidates?
Well, an important role for the U.S. Senate with Tammy Duckworth is that if the Democrats are able to pick up 5 seats, then they take control of the Senate. Or even if they're able to pick up 4 seats, it depends on who the vice president is, who's going to choose who's going to control the Senate. And so if they pick up 4 seats and Clinton wins, then Tim Kaine chooses who's going to control the Senate. And of course, it'll be the Democrats.
Exactly. Board of Trustees member David S. Olson is a Republican running for the state representatives in the 81st District. How is he looking to fare tonight?
You know, it looked like he was probably going to win that race. Running against Greg Hosey, it looked at first maybe that was going to be a tighter race. Certainly there was a lot of money poured into it by both the Republicans and the Democrats at the state house level, but it looks like Olson's going to win that one.
Now, you refer to money being poured into the election for both of them. Why is that number substantially higher than previous elections?
Well, anywhere.
What is it usually, I guess?
Yeah, anywhere where they start to see an opportunity to steal a seat, and in DuPage County, if they see an opportunity to steal a traditionally Republican seat, then the Democrats are going to pour money into it. And there's a couple other races that are really close in DuPage County that a lot of money's been spent on.
That's phenomenal insight, Bill. We really appreciate having you on our board with me talking about election night 2016. Our own Nick Petrello caught up with David Olson, as we were just talking about, as he prepared for today's election. So we're going to cut to that.
Thank you.
Only 5 years out of college, David S. Olson is one of the rising stars of the Illinois Republican. To detention after being elected to the Downers Grove Village Council, defeating an incumbent who had been in office since before Olson was born. And following the sudden resignation of College of DuPage Board of Trustees President Kathy Hamilton, Olson was charged with being the new tie-breaking vote on the deadlocked board, helping to repair COD's tarnished reputation and hire new college president Ann Rondeau. He even found time to run in the college's charity 5K. In August, Olson was appointed to the 81st District seat in the Illinois House of Representatives after the sudden resignation of Ron Sindak.
So I've been in the role for just over 80 days now, and 19 days before an election as of today, not as if I'm counting, but it's been a great opportunity to get to know the people of the 81st District, to be all around, and to hear what their ideas are, what their frustrations are with Springfield, because there, quite frankly, are a lot of issues.
Though the district is traditionally Republican, Olson still faces a tough race against Democrat Greg Hose, who served alongside Olson in the Downers Grove Village Council.
It's been a challenging race, as every race is. There's been plenty of money thrown at the race, and there's been a lot of mailers and such.
It's big. It's really, you think, oh, there's only going to be a couple people. It's a lot more people than you would think to be involved in such a local race.
Ultimately, it's about the message that I'm getting to the people of the district. It's about the message of reform in Springfield.
Regardless of the results of tonight's election, Olson will not be running for another term on the College Board of Trustees, but he will be leaving his post with a wealth of new experience.
Well, I think it's really taught the importance of dialogue with all sides. It's taught the importance of listening to stakeholders and bringing stakeholders into the process. And I look forward to bringing that type of attitude of service to Springfield.
We're back. We do have some breaking news for everybody watching. Tammy Duckworth has been given the victory for Illinois Senate seat. Again, Tammy Duckworth defeats incumbent of 6 years in the Senate seat, Mark Kirk. Duckworth will be serving the Illinois Senate now. That is breaking news. As Bill mentioned earlier, David Olson is expected to win tonight's election. Olson will continue serving our college's Board of Trustees until April of 2017. 3 seats will be on the ballot come this April for our college's Board of Trustees. Since our primary election coverage in March had a lot of drama the presidential election, we take a look back at the bad, the very ugly, and maybe some good in the 2016 election roundup. Melania Trump's speech at the Republican National Convention came under fire after people started to compare the similarity between hers and Michelle Obama's speech at the DNC convention years ago. Trump's campaign denied the plagiarism accusations. Then, prominent Republicans skipped the Republican nomination convention this summer to show their lack of support for Donald Trump. Mitt Romney has spoken out calling Trump a fraud, and 4 out of the last 5 Republican nominees did not attend the event. WikiLeaks revealed that a Democratic Party official tried to use Bernie Sanders' supposed religious beliefs to derail his campaign. The emails that were exposed show that the DNC was not neutral when it came to the Democratic primary this year. After the reveal, Debbie Wasserman Schultz resigned. During a 9/11 memorial service in New York, Hillary Clinton fell ill and stumbled, prompting many to speculate whether she is healthy enough to run for president. The fall was said to be from pneumonia. This past October, Billy Bush was let go from NBC after a lewd recorded conversation between Billy and Donald Trump was leaked to the public. And the presidential nominees did not shake hands before or after the last presidential debate. The lack of handshake was just one part of a debate that exemplified a true dislike of each other, with Trump's campaign inviting 3 women who have accused Hillary Clinton's husband and former President Bill Clinton of assault. Unfortunately, I wish to see some good from this 2016 election, but we couldn't find much. What do you think your take is on how nasty this 2016 election has been between the candidates?
Well, certainly all elections get nasty. There's no doubt about that. But this one, because of so many twists and turns with things like email scandals and scandals involving Donald Trump with other women and things like that, it's certainly played a big role in how people are looking at this election. I think that probably everybody's going to look back at this and say, wow, this is certainly an historic election, especially if we elect a woman. But at the same time, it was a pretty nasty one.
Yeah, in the final stretch of the campaign season, WikiLeaks has released over 40,000 hacked emails that both are damaging to the Clinton campaign and her foundation. What do you think these hacked emails, what role is that going to play tonight?
Yeah, I think that people have certainly taken a look at that, and we've heard about the emails for so many months now that maybe already everybody made up their decision before any changes in it. But I would say that one of the things that they came out in the emails was strategy about how to make Donald Trump look bad. Yeah. Well, of course they're having strategy meetings about how to make Donald Trump look bad in a Clinton campaign. So that part's not very surprising.
There have been some where they have been damaging, like talking about the DNC and Bernie Sanders and stuff like that. I guess people could find something out of nothing, you know. There are a lot. 40,000 is a lot of emails to cipher through.
Well, I'm also not surprised that somebody has a favorite. There's always somebody who's going to have a favorite, so I'm not very surprised at that.
What have we really learned through these emails?
You know, we've learned that there's certainly backroom deals going on where people are trying to take advantage of the system in some way or another. Yeah. And there is a system out there, and there is a way to take advantage of it.
That's kind of a platform that Donald Trump sees himself running on through the election season.
Yeah, you know what? If you're going to run, you ought to check and see how the system works and then be prepared for it.
He's notorious for telling you, I know how the system works because I flaw it. Let's take a look at some of our battleground states where the polls have closed. East Coast, Illinois. We are starting to get more from the Midwest as well. We have Florida with 88% being reported, and we still have almost a toss-up at this point. Donald Trump's numbers have gone up from the last time we've seen them, and he's almost tied with her in Florida.
Yeah, holy cow, I'm looking at these numbers and I'm thinking back to 2000. We might be waiting until December again to find out who wins this race. If it's that close, 88% reporting and 700 votes separate them. That sounds a lot like George Bush and Al Gore did in 2000. So this is really getting close. Holy cow.
he would need this, right? Because we look at North Carolina, they have about 52% of their numbers being reported, and Clinton has about a 5-point lead up there, 6-point lead. So he would need Florida.
Yeah, that's a pretty big lead, unless there's an awful lot of rural votes coming in for Trump later on. That's a pretty big lead in North Carolina. I would say this Florida one, though, that's going to go down to the wire, and watch out for a recount.
That would be interesting. That would be similar to the Chicago Cup season, them winning the World Series. A recount would be really capping this off as one of the most wild election seasons in the past couple of decades. Democratic, Republican, or independent, there's one thing nobody likes during election seasons, and that's what our reporter, Jack Gervaso, takes a look at, and what's being called the most expensive negative year in political advertisement history.
General, the Democrats are telling me I never had it so good.
Can that be true when America is billions in debt? When prices have doubled?
Since Dwight Eisenhower made a short commercial outlining his political beliefs in 1952, political television commercials have been a standard of every election cycle. This year, candidates are expected to spend over $10 billion on political advertisements, $6 billion of which goes to television.
A party that spends more money has a better opportunity to get the message across. It's unfortunate, but that's pretty much been like that for the last 30, 40, 50 years. And I think people kind of resonate when there's negativity. I think you have to base it with factual advertising. So if you are going to throw negative advertising, it has to be based on facts.
Advertising expenditures are increasing, but so is the negativity in the ads that we see.
Next president faces daunting challenges in a dangerous world. Iran.
The rate of negative ads went from around 30% in the year 2000 to almost 65% in 2012. And with Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump being the two least popular candidates in modern history, that figure is very likely to have gone up.
Negative political ads are kind of actually detrimental. I don't think they do a lot of good in terms of informing the voters about the candidates. And in fact, a lot of the messages get kind of diluted.
2, 1, 0.
I think it's pretty sad that we have so much negativity, but it's unfortunate that because of the nature of things, that I think both parties think it's more important to sling mud.
As a voter, I don't particularly care about those stuff. I want to know what the issue is. How are they going to help America strive and become a better country?
Overall, I just think they're very immature, and I feel like a lot of them strike very personal claims, especially like Trump against Hillary with all these misogynistic remarks, and I feel like it has nothing to do with your campaign.
Not all candidates are using negativity in their ads. Some are using humor to get their message across to the voter.
Spewing fumes all over the place, but quite frankly, it's not a code violation.
For CNTV News,
those have been some pretty nasty ads. Bill, I'll ask you your final thought one more time for us. I know you believe that ever since Dwight D. Eisenhower that these ads, campaign ads, have been one of a kind, but this year specifically, if you could maybe name one for us that you've seen that sticks out to you the most, or something that really explains the dislike between these two.
Yeah, well, certainly with Clinton and Trump, there's been a lot of nasty ads. The one that's also kind of interesting is what's been going on with the state House races and how Mike Madigan's been portrayed in every race. Yeah. And so whether or not you like Mike Madigan or not, you sure have heard his name in relation to all the state House races. And don't vote for this person because they're related to Mike Madigan somehow or another. So that's been one of the ones that I've thought was kind of interesting.
We really appreciate you for joining us, sharing your perspective from the 7 o'clock hour till right now, through all the races that have been tallied so far, what you expect to see versus what's happening out there. We really appreciate you coming out. Adjunct Political Science Professor Bill Enright.
You bet, thanks.
Yep, thank you. Bill will be back with us at our 10:30 broadcast with more reactions and analysis to this election. This has been the Election Update. Thank you for choosing Courier TV News for your election coverage this evening. And again, we'll be back at 10:30 with including candidates' reactions and analysis. We'll see you guys then.